Hello, hello, folks. Hope you're all doing great. We are going to be rocking and rolling here today. We got a lot of you folks jumping on here, and I'm excited to dive into basically how to plan out the next year for your business and give you insights on the best strategies that are going to be working for growing your businesses, folks. So, as you're jumping onto the call today, we're going to be using the chat feature quite a bit. So go ahead and comment down below. Just to start, comment down below hello, and then also comment down below what type of business you run so we can get this rocking and rolling. Share the link for the workbook. Yes, we will make sure to get the workbook over to you folks. So hello, hello, hello. Yeah, good to have you on. So folks, go ahead, comment down below in the chat. We have Sonia, we have Omar. Hope you're doing well, brother. We have Naomi, Sherry, Shannon, Stacy, Teresa. Hope you folks are all doing amazing. Make sure you're using the chat today. The chat's going to be really beneficial because there's going to be tons of questions as we go through the training today. And so I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. Good morning from Australia. Hey, good on you for joining. I know it's probably early Australia time. So awesome. Shannon's on. Good to have you on here. We got Jason's on, Jessica, Jess. We got Carlos. Good to have you folks on here. Coach, minister, influencer, dietitian. Awesome, folks. Super excited about the training. So I'm going to dive pretty straightforward in because we only got an hour. And if I know anything, these workshops go way too quickly. And so if you don't have the workbook, go ahead and just send us a message in the Facebook group chat that we had going for you folks. That's where you can grab the workbook. I'll just quickly share it for you folks if you haven't seen it yet. So this is the workbook that you're going to be going through today. So we just got a lot of prompts and questions and stuff for you folks to write down so that while we're going through it, you're actually crafting something here that you can take with you afterwards. I find if you don't actually take notes and actually have something that you can take with you after a workshop, stuff just leaves the brain. Like I have ADHD. If I don't have something written down, it's not happening. There is going to be zero change. Okay. So make sure that you are putting stuff down in the workbook. You have your pen and paper, or if it's on your computer, just so that after this workshop, the stuff we talk about can actually be useful. As you folks know, I'm a big believer that if you come to a workshop and you don't take anything down and you don't learn anything, it's not that useful. It's a bit of a waste of time. So I want to make sure this is an effective use of your time so that you're actually going to get results off of it. So anyway, so yeah, basically, if you need the link, the group chat over on Facebook. Awesome, folks. So let's dive in. Who's excited to get rocking and rolling? Let's actually start with your goals for 2025. I want everyone to comment them down below in the chat. And I want to know, what is your business goal for 2025? Give me a revenue number. Give me how many clients you want to support. Give me some tangible numbers. A lot of us want to have a great business or a successful business. That's not very tangible. So let's go ahead and put down below in the chat some tangible stuff. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be sharing my screen and sharing with you a couple different things as we dive into this. And so I want to make sure that you folks are ready to rock and roll. Consistent 10K months. Awesome. I love it. Sonia. Okay, the rest of you, comment down below your goals in the chat and let's get rocking and rolling. Omar's 50K months. Perfect, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get diving into the training for today. And today, the training is titled How to Hit Six Figures in 2025. But this is also going to be relevant for those of you who are scaling to those 20K months, to those 40K months, etc. So the same strategies that we're going to be talking about will help you scale. But I know for a lot of you, the first step is just getting to six figures. So we're going to be diving into the training here today. So let's dive in. So basically, how to hit six figures in 2025. If you don't know already, you really should know. My name is Ruben Drieger, and I'm really excited to share with you folks today. Basically, what I want to do is share with you the best strategies that are working right now for our clients on helping them get really good results in business. Because as we know, social media shifts and changes every year to 2 years. And actually, how many of you have seen social media shift in the last year or two already? Comment down below me if you have. Because as you know, social media is a bit of a game and you have to learn how to pivot and actually learn to play the game. Every time I think of the word pivot, I don't know if you've watched Friends, but there's that scene where Ross and his friends are trying to pivot the couch around the corner. That's what I think about every single time when social media is changing. I'm like, pivot, and making that happen. So I want to share with you what's trending, what's working well, and also I want to share with you the strategies that have worked well for the last 9 years that I believe will keep working well as we keep going forward, okay? So that's what I want us to do as we dive into this training today. So here, I'm gonna go ahead, see if I can get this thing full screen for you folks. Here we go. We are full screen now. Comment down below. Can you still see the screen? Can everyone still see the screen? I want to make sure that you can, because at the end of the day, sometimes when I go full screen, people are like, I can't see it. You can see it? Great. So the first thing I want to really realize for a lot of us folks is that failure to plan is planning to failure. Okay, this is a big thing that I see happen now, and I'm going to share some hard truths here today. I'm going to share some tough love, because frankly, if you didn't have a 2024 like you wanted to have, I want to ensure that you have a 2025 that you want to have. So the first thing that I want us to realize is that if things didn't happen the way we wanted it to, oftentimes that comes down to we didn't actually have a plan that was going to succeed, or we just failed to plan altogether. So we want to make sure that as you're heading into 2025, you actually have a system, a strategy, and a plan so that you are successful. And so let's dive into these slides here. So now I find the reason that 2024 for a lot of people maybe didn't go the way you wanted is either you didn't have a plan or your plan wasn't strategic. Now, these workshops, I was about to stutter because I'm always like a little bit nervous to ask. I want you folks to be brutally honest and full of candor today. I want you to comment down below. Did you have a plan going to 2024? Or did you not have a plan, or was your plan not strategic? I want you to comment down below and be honest with me, more so being honest with yourself of why do you feel like things didn't work for you? Plan was not strategic. Okay, for sure. Share down below. I want to hear from you folks how it felt for you, because the only way forward is to own the current reality, not strategic to start and then change it a lot. I had eggs in one basket. Okay, yeah, not very strategic, works sporadically. Okay, this is some big reasons, because here's the truth, and I've learned this in my business life and also my relationship life, is that you cannot disown a reality until you own that reality. Comment that down below. To own, you have to disown to own. Okay, this is really important, because a lot of people are just like, oh, I don't want to think about the past. I know I failed in the past, but let's just move on. And my wife can attest to this. I am the king of moving on from situations before I own the situation. And your 2025 is not going to be different if you don't own what actually happened in 2024. And so that's why I'm asking for that candor here today for all of you folks. So to disown reality, you must own it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So we want to make sure that not only do we create a plan for you folks in 2025, but we also want to have a strategic plan, okay? Because there's a difference. For example, if I was a marathon runner, okay? If I was a marathon runner, let's say I wanted to, or maybe I wasn't a runner, I wanted to be a marathon runner. Maybe I was like, hey, I'm going to create a plan and I'm going to run a marathon this year. But if I just would like run sporadically, a bit inconsistently, if I would overtrain or undertrain, or just like not sleep well or eat like shit or whatever it is, I probably wouldn't achieve my goal of being a marathoner. Right? So it doesn't matter if I had a plan and I kind of loosely followed it, and if the plan kind of sucked because I didn't know anything about running because I had never ran before, it's not going to work out. So it's not good enough to just have a plan. So many people, I see this happening. They start the new year and they're like, I want to have a 6-figure year. That's this amount of clients. So I need to post on social media and I need to do X, Y, and Z. But like, there's no tangibles. There's no like tactical actually going into the weeds of all of it. And so that's not going to allow you to craft a real result. Real results take a little bit more, okay? So if we have no plan, basically that leads to like an unstructured outcome, right? And if you have a non-strategic plan, basically it's ineffective. Honestly, sometimes a non-strategic plan is more frustrating, because if you have no plan, basically you're like, well, I'm not getting results because I don't have a plan, right? You kind of know why you're not getting results. A lot of you who feel like I just didn't have a strategic plan, you actually put work into it and you didn't get the results you were looking for, which is oftentimes more annoying than not having a plan overall. And so I want to address both of those things here for you folks so that you can be moving forward in the right direction, okay? So today you will leave not only with a plan, but it's going to be a strategic plan that has been proven to work for coaches and other service entrepreneurs that we are working for right now. And I just want to quickly do this, because so many of you probably hop on to workshops or webinars or whatever it is to learn different things. I always like to show that there's results behind what I'm going to say before I share what I'm going to say, because I could just be a random person on the internet that like is in his mom's basement. Well, it's not a basement, at least it's a second floor. But I want to show you first and foremost that we actually have results for our clients before we dive in, because I want you to know that what I'm telling you today is not just something I've made up in my head. It's something that's actually getting people results. So here, let me pull this up. If you ever want to check out our results, literally you can go over to our Instagram, you can click the results tab here, and it's very easy for you to literally go ahead and just scroll through. I don't know what this is, dozens and dozens of people getting results in our company. So there's so many results here. I just want to make sure that you understand that these people are all seeing great results in their own companies because of what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So anyways, I just wanted to quickly share that. I don't want to talk about my student results too much, but I wanted to make sure that you understood that what we're talking about here today is not just some fluff that I came up because I had some dream and I was like, oh, I should put this in a PowerPoint and sell it to people. No, it's actually real stuff. Does that make sense? Everyone good? If are things making sense, comment down below. Let me know. I want to make sure. I know I can talk fast. Again, that is the ADHD, I believe, but that's not going to stop. So is everything making sense? Yes, it's making sense. Awesome. Awesome, folks. I just wanted to make sure. So glad to hear. So let's dive into crafting a strategic plan for all of you in 2025. So now with this kind of plan, there are 4 phases to the plan. And I'm going to be walking through each one of these phases, and they all have their importance. The truth is, all of these 4 things, in my opinion, are absolutely non-negotiable if you want to have a successful 2025. You remove one of these from the equation and things are not going to work out very well. Now, the beautiful thing about what I'm going to be sharing with you as far as these 4 phases is that these can be customized to your niche, your situation, what social media platforms you're using, okay? I'm not giving you a cookie cutter plan here that's only for people who have Facebook groups or only people who are who are other business coaches. This works for people on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It works for people in the health and wellness space, relationship coaches, mindset coaches, business coaches, you name it. These 4 phases are non-negotiable. This is business 101, period, okay? I want to just make sure, because some business coaches just give a cookie cutter advice that only kind of works for one person. That's not where you're getting here today. So phase number 1, let's dive into this. So phase number 1 is you. This is where a lot of people get things wrong. You have to understand that you are the user. When I'm going to be giving you tools today, a lot of how effective the tools are depends on you. Let's say I give a chainsaw to a tiny little boy who doesn't know how to use a chainsaw. It doesn't matter that the chainsaw is effective at cutting down trees. It's a great strategy. It's a great tool. He's the wrong user for that, okay? And now a lot of people will say you have to become your best version of yourself to grow a business. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say you have to become the right version, because there's many different versions of you that you could become in this lifetime. You could become a version that is all about experiences and travel. You could be a version of yourself that focuses just on family. You could be a version that builds incredible companies. If you want to be successful in business, you have to become the right version of yourself. And it starts with you. Because for most of you, you are a solopreneur. Maybe some of you have like a team member or 2, but everything is sourced from you. And so who you are is actually so incredibly important to the success of your business. A lot of people say you have to grow at the same pace of your business. And a lot of people say that in the sense of personal development. I'm not actually going to tell you that, because I don't believe that's true. I think you have to grow in being a good business owner. There's a lot of great business owners who are not personally developed. Is it helpful? Is it a good thing to do? Sure. But you have to become the right version of yourself, meaning you have to be good at business. Okay, so let's dive into what does that actually mean. I'm going to break it up into basically 3 different areas. Okay, so everyone go ahead and comment down below mindset first. Okay, comment that down below in the chat. Now, mindset, I get a little bit annoyed when I see so much talk about mindset. I'm not going to lie to you folks, because I think a lot of people get it wrong. They think you need to have the secret affirmation or ritual or song bowls or yoga or something. I've tried all of them, by the way. I love them all the way. But mindset is a little bit more tangible in my mind. Number one, humility and being humble. This is one of the most critical parts of growing a successful business. Every single season in my business, when my ego has been high and my humbleness has been low, I do not grow. And the reason being is because a humble mindset is a coachable mindset. A humble mindset is someone who's learning and willing to be wrong. And when you're willing to be wrong, you get to the right answers quicker. So learn to be humble in business. Frankly, this morning, I'm not going to lie. My wife, Terry, she runs the business with me. She told me, you're doing these things wrong in business. And my defense mechanisms were flaring up because that's my natural tendency. But then I realized you're right. If I can actually be humble in this moment, if I can let go of my ego, I can get a better result in business and I can get to where I want to go in life. I have no clue what he's talking about. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. So humility is key if you want to grow. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, as far as the mindset, is resiliency. Okay, to be resilient, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be a walk in the park to build a business. No matter how many affirmations or how many times you hear from people you can work the four-hour work week, it's going to take some work, and you're going to have to be consistent, okay? You're going to have to be consistent, and you're going to have to be consistent in the good times and in the bad times. And that takes a mindset of resiliency. And the reason I'm telling you this, they've done studies on this, by the way. They've done studies. I actually read a book. It's called Do Hard Things. It's by Steve Magnus, I think is his name. In the book, they did studies where if people knew that something was going to be hard, right? Like if they knew climbing a mountain was going to be hard or doing this business thing was going to be hard, if they expected it to be hard and it was hard, they had a better likelihood of succeeding versus the groups of people who expected it to be easy and then it was hard. They had a much higher risk of not completing or achieving what they wanted to. So I know business is hard. I want all of you to succeed. So I want to set the realistic expectations so you expect it going into it so that you have the highest chance of success. I'm sorry if I'm bursting your bubble. This is actually what's going to be best for you as far as going into business. Last and final piece of mindset is motivated, okay? You have to be motivated. At the end of the day, if you're not motivated, a 9-to-5 job is probably a better fit for you. Just going to be honest, because as much as building a business is incredible, it does take a little bit more for a lot of people than a 9-to-5. And you have to decide if it's going to be worth it for you. For Terry and myself, for the clients that we work with, they've decided that this is worthwhile and they're going to go after it. But you have to be motivated, and not just like motivation that comes and goes. It has to be this internal drive. It has to be this internal discipline honestly, at the end of the day. So that's the mindset, okay? So for you to be the right version of yourself, these are the keys as far as mindset goes. Any questions so far, comment them down below. I'm going to move on. Let's go to skills. Everyone comment down below skills. For you to be successful in 2025, you as the human will need skills. Okay, skills is very critical. Now, skills building is something that you get better at and you can optimize within yourself. Right? It's something that get skillful at playing an instrument, get skillful at conversation, get skillful at your job, whatever it is. Skill building is so incredibly important. And I'll dive more into this when we talk about the strategy aspect of planning for 2025. But marketing, sales, and delivery are just non-negotiable skills. All the businesses out there, the businesses that you look up to, the business that you want to become, they have marketing channels that work. They have sales systems that convert. They have delivery channels that deliver a good service and retain and get referrals, okay? You have to have these skill sets and you need to build them. And they're not actually just skill sets that you acquire and then you're good to go. There's different levels of these skill sets. You'll get to the place where you're skilled enough to have a 6-figure business. Then you'll need to acquire better skill sets to get to a 7-figure business. And then you'll need to acquire different skill sets to get to the next level. So these skills, there is a massive spectrum, okay? It's not something that you acquire once here today and you'll have. So you need to look at this as basically a lifelong student. This is what comes back down to humility and being coachable. So many people, I made a post about this the other week, and I told people, once I hit 6 figures in my business, I thought I was the shit. I thought I was so smart. I thought I didn't even need a business coach at that point. I thought I'm good to go. I know so much. And then I plateaued there for a year and a half. And then finally, my ego came down, my humility came up a little bit, and I realized that I needed help to keep on growing. I think it's called the Dunger's effect or whatever it is, where it's basically the people who learn something at the beginning, they're so like zealous and they think they know everything. And then as they learn more, they actually get a little bit less like egotistical around it. So this is something that we see happen all the time. So the last piece is environment. Everyone go ahead and comment down below environment, please. Comment down below environment, because this is critical. Terry and I were just talking about this the other day. Your environment dictates so much about your future, right? You've all heard it, like the people you hang out with, have similar bank account sizes to, you'll have similar values, similar goals, whatever it is. Environments can kill or create success at the end of the day. And so you want to make sure that you not only have a supportive environment, that's usually the humans around you that you hang out with. And sometimes it's not going to be the case. Frankly, when Terry and myself started the business, we did not have a very supportive environment, and we actually kind of basically extracted ourselves from the environment. And we had to get to a place where we were more supportive. We found friends that were also building businesses. We found other people. We joined communities. We joined programs, whatever it was, to allow ourselves to be in better environments, because you will believe what the people around you believe on average, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's values, whether it's whatever it is, where you grow up, the people you hang out, that's who you become. And that's why a lot of us just live inside these vacuums, and we actually never are open to other things. And that's why it's so hard to be humble sometimes. So have a supportive environment. The second thing there with environment is a productive environment, okay? Productivity is pretty crucial here. Actually, comment down below productive, because some of us have lives or just cluttered environments where it's hard to be productive. It's hard to just do the work. I know for myself, when we first started being entrepreneurs, I was not productive. I remember sometimes I'd just go sit on the couch in the living room, kind of scrolling on my phone, pretending that I was working. It was not productive. Now, Terry and I have like set places where we work, where we, after we're done working, we don't do personal living there. We're productive in the environments. We have a system, a structure. We have times when we work and times when we don't. We have good ways of making sure that we're not always in work, like looking at personal stuff or whatever it is. Even at, this is a funny one. So at 4 o'clock every single day, both of our huskies, we have 2 huskies here at home, they will come up the stairs and they'll start to like howl at us because they want to go on a run. So Terry and I, we make sure at 4 o'clock we close our doors so that we can be productive for the last hour of the day. I know it's terrible. We love our huskies. They get a lot of running in. They go run in the mountains. They're doing fine. But we make sure that our environments are productive. So is this making sense, everyone? Comment down below yes if it is. Because before we dive into the strategy of actually how to have a successful 25, you have to be the right person. Because I could give all of you the right strategy, the right things to do, the right ways to do them, the right amount of things to do. But if you're not the right version of yourself, you won't do them. You won't actually implement them. You won't be consistent. Or we all have our kind of vices, right? Some of us, it's inconsistency or lack of discipline. For some of us, it's maybe that we're pushing or procrastinating. Some of us, it's perfectionism. Whatever it is, we all have our vices. And so you have to become the right you, okay? Let's move on, okay? I've been on here for a while. Let's go to phase 2, okay? So phase 2 of actually having a successful business in 2025, and this is something that every single one of our clients has, is a great offer and a specific ideal client, okay? So everyone, this is really critical. Now, a lot of you probably think to yourself, all right, I already got this. And if you do, great. Okay, fantastic. We'll move through this quickly because I want to get to the next piece a little bit quicker because we're 26 minutes in. But this is really a critical part of the business. So for your niche, number one, you need to have strong results. Okay, so make sure that you have a strong result that you could get someone in a certain niche, right? Have a big problem that you solve and have a unique approach or a specialized approach on how you can support them, okay? Make sure that you have this down. Now, if you're in your workbook right now, I know there's questions in there that we're asking you about these different things. Make sure you're filling that in, because I've just seen it happen so many times. Sometimes I have to give people tough love. They'll be messaging me being like, Ruben, stuff just isn't working out. Or I've even had sales calls where people are applying for a program. They want to join my program and they're literally wanting to pay me. And I'm just like, frankly, your niche isn't something that's going to work out. And it's hard because these people, they want to help people so bad, right? They want to build these businesses and serve people. But there are certain industries that are just 90% more likely to succeed versus these other ones where they're just not likely to succeed. One of the things that I often get people to do, this is a great just thing to do on your own time, is to go find other people in your niche who are successful and doing very well to just confirm for yourself that this actually could work. Go make sure that there is demand in the marketplace and that there's other people supplying what you're supplying in the marketplace. And that's usually a very clear sign that this will work for you, okay? This is so critical. I don't like dashing people's dreams, but sometimes your niche isn't strong enough and your offer isn't strong enough. And I know for a fact, all the coaches that we've helped get to six figures, multiple six figures or beyond have had a strong niche and a strong offer. So when I see that 100% of the successful people we work with have that, I put that as a non-negotiable for all of you folks to consider. The second thing off is the offer, okay? So you want to have a clear path. In your offer, you want to have a clear, people come in at this point, and by the end of the program, they are at X, Y, and Z. So you want to have a clear path of how you can take them from, basically, a lot of people talk about taking them from this hell that they're in to the heaven, right? Take them from their current struggle to their future desires, okay? You want to have tangible results. Now, I know some of you work in intangible spaces, whether it's mindset coaches, spiritual coaches, or whatever it is. You can still have tangible results for people, okay? You can still get people tangible results in life. And so you want to make sure that you're attaching the work you do to tangible results. You want to have proof. Now, some of you might be so new in business, you haven't worked with a lot of clients, but make sure that you are the proof. Make sure that you yourself can be the proof if you don't have other proof yet. And if you're that new in business, oftentimes it's not a bad idea to take on 2 to 3 beta clients just to get some proof, get a testimonial, get it started. Last but finally, it has to be compelling, okay? There is no way someone's going to take money from their bank account and funnel it through the interwebs over to you if they don't feel compelled or wanting to buy your offer. So you need to make sure that you're marketing it in a compelling way. What's the benefit to them? What is it going to help them achieve? What kind of pain is it going to get rid of for them? How likely are they going to achieve that result? What's the risk mitigation with it? Understanding that is going to help your offer be a lot better. Now, I have other trainings that go a lot more in depth on niche and offer. We're not going to spend a ton of time here today. If you are struggling with that, you can feel free to send me a message afterwards, and I'd be more than happy to just give some of your stuff a little bit of a look over. But I want to get into this next phase. So any questions on this before we move on to phase 3? Comment them down below if you have any questions. I'm going to take a sip because my voice also always kind of starts to go on the fritz halfway through these trainings. So any questions? If you have no questions, comment down below phase 3 to let me know if you're ready for phase 3. Omar is ready for phase 3. I love it. I love it, brother. So with Stacy, awesome, awesome. Sonia, great, great. I love it, folks. Okay, so we are going to be moving over to phase number 3. So client acquisition. This is the good shit that most of you came here for. So you are welcome. You have made it thus far, and we are going to be diving into this. But I needed you to do those other 2 phases first. Because if you're not the right version of yourself and you don't have a business foundation of the right niche and offer, strategy is useless. I'm going to say that one more time, just so that it sinks in. If you're not the right version of yourself and you don't have the right foundation to your business, strategy is useless, okay? It's kind of like if I wanted to build a house, okay? I'm building a house, right? I used to work construction. I hated it, but I built houses. If I'm not the right construction worker, if I don't know what to do, and if I don't have a foundation, like if I haven't laid the foundation of the house for it to sit on and last for decades and decades and decades, me building the rest of the house is a terrible idea. Because if I'm not the right person, the house is not going to be great. And if I don't have the foundation, it's also just going to fall and collapse and all this kind of shitty things that we don't want to have happen. So we want to make sure that you are the right you and you have the right foundation. Guess what? Then we can build the house. Then we can build the house. You're the right worker to build the house. You're the right user and you have the right foundation. Diane, how long does it take to decide on our niche? That's a great question. Frankly, This is my opinion. Make a decision incredibly fast. If in 3 months you hate it, make a different decision. So many people, they will be thinking about their niche for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. They'll never decide, so they never will know. The only way you're going to know if you like your niche is if you can actually go and try it and see how it feels to you. It's the same thing. People are like, well, I don't know if I should do this offer or this offer. It's like, okay, well, let's decide, because a decision will actually give us feedback. Doing nothing gives zero feedback. The only way you can get to an answer is by doing something, getting feedback, and reevaluating. So go for it and make mistakes. Fail faster so you get to the answers quicker, so that you get to where you want to go quicker. I'm a big believer in, basically, what do they say? They say, ready, shoot, aim. That's what I'm a big believer in, okay? Because when I shoot the first bullet, I can see it when left of the target, and I can shoot again, right? I used to paintball back in the day. And frankly, a lot of the times in paintballing, I would start to shoot before I had the person in my sights. I know this is a terrible analogy. I'm so sorry for everyone. I don't paintball anymore. It was 1 year of my life. I regret it. But basically, I would start to shoot before I had the aim. Why? Because I could see where the paintball was going. And if it was going one direction or the other direction of where I wanted it to go, I can then adjust. Sonia, I also paintballed a lot. There you go. Another person like me. So not terrible. Trap shooting family here. Ah, amazing. So anyways, folks, we're going to dive into client acquisition. You need a simple and clear path to turn a stranger into a client. Now, I specifically, this last line here is really important for a lot of you, to turn a stranger into a client. A lot of you, when you start your businesses, you might get people who know you in your network, acquaintances, friends of friends, sign up as clients. That's totally fine, by the way. That's how Terry and I started. The only way for your business to be sustainable in the long term is when you can turn strangers into clients, turn random people on social media. I mean, frankly, all of you people on here today, I'm pretty sure anyways, correct me if I'm wrong, we're strangers at some point with me in the last year or two, probably, maybe 3 years. And you need to have that skill set so that you can create a business that is going to be sustainable, scalable, and something that you're actually going to be able to make a great impact with. So that being said, let's dive into client acquisition. This is the biggest piece. We're going to spend a bunch of time here. This is probably where a lot of you might have some questions. And if you do, please, please, please do comment them down below. So with having a system for getting clients, there's going to be a couple different pieces, that we're going to be wanting to think about. Now, most of you have probably heard from me about our loop method and different ways of growing your business. These are the main pieces that you're going to need to get your business. You need to have new audience coming in. You need to be able to generate leads from your audience. You need to then be able to nurture those leads, and then you need to be able to sell to those leads. And it doesn't matter what type of niche or industry or service you're offering here. All of you need all 4 of these things. And all of you actually, some of these things might be easier for you than others, but you need to see why something is working, why something isn't working. Okay, so we need to start with audience growth. I'm going to go ahead, comment down below. How many of you feel like your audience is not growing quick enough? Comment down below me if you feel like you want to be growing your audience quicker, okay? This is such a massive piece for a lot of businesses. We got a lot of me's, we got Jess, we got Omar, we got Diane. Audience growth is critical because here's the truth. I mean, there's a lot of people that we work with. Yes, until CCI helps me. It's glad to have you on here, Mandy. A lot of people, when they come to us, we can start to help them get some clients, let's say, out of their current audience by just doing better content, value pieces, nurturing, and sales. But you're going to run out of people who are just in your friends audience if you do not continue to grow it. So I hate adding friends, but I do it for sure. So now let's talk about this. So there's different ways to grow your audience. The first thing that you all need to figure out is what's your main platform at this point for growing your business. Comment down below your platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it is, comment down below which platform you're using to grow your audience. So we got Facebook, we got Instagram and Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, it's pretty common. A lot of people, Instagram and Facebook are still the main platforms for them. I mean, some of our clients are crushing it on LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, but Facebook and Instagram. Okay, lots of you. So you want to choose your platform because the platforms have different ways of growing your audiences. Okay, this is a really critical thing to understand. all of the different platforms, you can grow your audiences in different ways. Most platforms have 4 to 5 good ways of growing your audience that you can think through, okay? So this is where we come into method, okay? So I want you to, actually, I'm gonna give you some specifics here today. You folks are in for a bit of a treat. I'm gonna give you basically the main methods for growing your audience. This is going to either help you understand that these are the right ways to doing it, or some of you are gonna realize that you know these ways to grow your audience, you're just not doing them. And that's also a good thing because it's like this tough love that's like, okay, I need to do this. So basically, here are the methods, and I want you to comment them down below one at a time. Number one, we have what we call organic content. Comment that down below. Organic content. Now, this looks different on different platforms. On Instagram, organic content is going to help you grow your business, usually through short form video at this point, right? And Facebook, it could do that as well. Now, on some other platforms, let's say like LinkedIn or whatever it might be, organic content is only going to grow your audience if you get shares and people sharing your content. So either you have to get good in our day and age at short form video content organically, or you need to get good at shareable content on like a Facebook like quotes or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever it is. So basically, organic content's one way of growing your audience. Now, a really good tip, I'm going to give you a specific tip for Instagram for all of you folks, is if you go to Instagram and if you search your keywords of like your business, whether you help women with endometriosis or whether you help, maybe it's like you're a men's coach. If you search in Instagram, if you search like endometriosis and then you toggle it over to the Reels tab, it's going to show you all the viral Reels of people that are using the word endometriosis, right? So you can go and find other people's viral stuff and you can basically explore and discover how you can create content that's similar. So that's something you can do on Instagram. On other platforms, you can also see like which content's getting shared a ton. There's a lot of different things, but you have organic content, one way of growing your audience. Now, for you to grow your audience with organic content, your content has to be good. And actually, I should specify, it needs to be great, okay? It needs to be great content. So this is a skill that we talked about in the phase number 1, but this is a skill that you're gonna have to acquire, getting good at organic content. So that's the first way that you can do it. The second way that you can do it is what we call organic manual, okay? Everyone go ahead and comment that down below. Thoughts on hashtags? Great question, Melanie. I'll give you a quick answer on this one. Hashtags can work, but actually SEO is more important right now on Instagram than hashtags. Meaning SEO, the words that you use on the screen, the words that you say, the words that are actually in your caption, and even the SEO on your profile is actually more important in our day and age than hashtags. Hashtags can still be useful, but SEO has actually picked up more and is actually a better play. So organic manual. Okay, organic manual, most of you probably know this. Like on Facebook, it's simple. Go add friends who are ideal clients. On LinkedIn, it can be similar. You can do it on Instagram, but this is one way of growing your audience. It's not necessarily the funnest way, but for a lot of people, they really should do it because it's actually going to be consistent and it's actually going to get them off the ground, okay? So we have organic manual. So the third way of growing your audience is always what we call paid audience growth, okay? Comment down below, paid audience growth. Now, again, the different platforms are slightly different when it comes to paid audience growth. On Facebook, it's mainly you're paying for ads, let's say. On Instagram, there's a couple different ways. You can pay to have something boosted. Some of our clients, this works pretty well for them, where we boost certain like short form video content and they actually get followers that way. Or on Instagram, you can also do what we call paid shoutouts, where basically a large Instagram account that has your ideal clients in it will post a piece of your content to their page and you have to pay them like $100. So paid audience growth is a fantastic way to go if you have the spare funds and you know for a fact you can convert clients. Do not do paid audience growth if you can't actually close people on sales calls and you can't actually get them to sales. If you can't do that, don't do paid audience growth. If you can do that, fantastic. If you have the budget for it, go for it. The fourth and final piece I'll talk about today as far as methods go is just simply collaboration. Okay, collaboration, comment this down below, is you can do this in a couple different ways. You can collaborate with other people that are in similar industries to you. You can be doing Instagram story swaps. You can be doing podcasts on each other's stuff. You can actually also be like utilizing each other's email list. There's a lot of ways to do collaborations, but collaborations can be a great way to grow your audience as well. Diane has a question above. Let me go look. Doesn't hashtags affect SEO? At this point, the way that I understand it, and by the way, I'm not all-knowing, actually the SEO is more important than the hashtag. The hashtags are just, they can benefit it as well. Like when I make a post, it's interesting to me how the SEO seems to gain more traction than necessarily the hashtag. But that's a great question. Do you recommend doing collabs with people that are in the same field, but like a competition? You definitely can. I have done collaborations in the past with people who were direct competitors, and sometimes it was still beneficial, but I do find that more often than not, it is better long-term to do collaborations with people who have your same ideal clients, but they kind of help them in a different way, and you're not necessarily competitors. So competitors, it can work. I have done it. I just find long-term it's better to do some of the niches or some of the collaborations that would be not as straight-to-straight competition, okay? So those are the methods. We have organic content, we have organic manual, we have paid ways of getting audience, and then we have collaboration. Those are going to be the main ways. There are other ways of growing your audience, like let's say SEO, as far as like on Google and stuff. Like there is also like search engine kind of like audience growth. But for most of you using social media, that's not something that you're going to be necessarily addressing and doing right now. So that's the thing I wanted to talk about as far as methods. So have your platform and have your, and actually, comment this down below. I want you folks to make a decision here today. Comment down below which platform you're going to be growing your audience on mainly for 2025 and which methods you're going to be using. Because I want you to commit here today to actually doing something, whether it's organic manual, organic content, or paid, or all of them. Okay, you can do all of them. I mean, Terry and myself, we're doing all of them right now, literally all 4 of them, right? We do organic manual, we do organic content, we do paid marketing, we do collaboration, we do all of it. Okay, so don't vilify one of the strategies or the other, but just pick one. Okay, organic and paid on Instagram, Facebook content manual and collabs, what methods, Instagram, Facebook, paid marketing. I love it, folks. Keep on commenting down below. Awesome, folks. So I want to quickly touch on quantity and quality. Okay, quantity is important because at the end of the day, you need a certain amount of new followers coming into your system to hit a certain level in business. I'm going to give you some averages here today because you have your platform, you have your method. Let's talk about numbers. The average coach who hits 6 figures, okay? I'm talking average here. Now, some of you might be able to do this with less, some of you might need more, but on average, I have seen if you're growing your audience by 50 people per week, you will get to a 6-figure level in your business. That's an average, okay? I want to give you something to shoot for. Even if it gets you past 6 figures or just below it, it's something to shoot for. So make sure that you are putting down, if you want to get to, let's say, 10K months, great, 50 followers per week is probably a good place to be. If you want to go higher than that, you're going to have a bigger number. But quantity is super, super important. So how many of you feel like 50 new followers a week would help you get to 6 figures? How many of you are like, okay, that's what I need to aim for. My goal is 6 figures next year. That's what I'm going to go after. Comment down below. Let me know. I'm going to start to talk quicker because we have a lot to go through here. So the last thing I'll talk about here with audience growth is quality. Okay, so quality is really important. It doesn't matter if you're getting 50 followers if they're all people who are never going to buy from you. If you only sell to women and they're all men, that's not going to work. If you mainly want to work with adults and all the followers are children, that is not going to work. So make sure that the quality is going to be coming. And that has to do with your content targeting the right people. Organic manual, that's you looking at people's profiles and making sure they're ideal before interacting. Paid traffic, that's making sure your copy, your visuals, your targeting is on point. And when you get followers, you're checking to make sure it's actually good quality. And on collaboration, it's making sure that people's audiences that you're collaborating with actually have your people, right? So make sure that the quality is there. What's your view on cold DMs when someone follows your account for audience growth? Following on, Brian's go. You want to cold DM? Definitely. I mean, if someone follows you, send them a message. Be like, hey, what brought you to my page? What can I help you with? Like, someone following you, it's a small sign that they're interested in what you have. So start a conversation with them, 100%, 100%. So anyways, audience growth. If you have any questions about that, comment down below. We need to move on to the next thing. But right now, you should have the platform you're growing your audience on. You should have chosen the method you're going to use. And you should also have the quantity, the volume, the number of how many new followers you need per week to hit your goals in 2025. Is that clear? Comment down below, yes. I'm going to move to the next one. So value pieces for lead generation. Fantastic. You now have more followers. Now, followers do not always equate to clients. I've had it happen so many times. People come to me with audiences of 10,000, 50,000, even sometimes 100,000 followers. And they're not making that much money because guess what? And we're going to go back to a skill set here. They got incredible at marketing. Their sales skills are absolutely horrendous. This is why you need all the skill sets that I talked about. This is why I'm saying you need all the things I'm talking about today, not just one. So lead generation through value pieces is going to be incredibly important if you want to go ahead and actually turn these followers into buyers. So what lead generation is basically how can you utilize content and conversation. Everyone comment that down below. Content and conversation, okay? Content and conversation, comment that down below. How can you use content and conversation to generate leads or interest from your audience? Okay, this is basically how do you get people out of the woodwork to actually tell you that they are a lead. Okay, so we want to do this through what we call value pieces. Value pieces are basically freebies, right? Freebies or lead magnets. Some people call them different things, but value pieces are valuable pieces of content that you can send to an individual that's going to help them with something. A value piece should have a high desire factor, right? So it's something that, ooh, I would really want that. It has a wow factor, is like when they dive into it, wow, this is so incredible. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And it's a conversation starter. It gets the conversation going because a lot of people are lurkers. They'll follow you, they'll watch your stories, they'll even like look at your social media posts. Sometimes they'll engage, but a lot of people are just following because like they're interested and they like what you have to say. A value piece, whether you're promoting it via your content like Instagram stories or a Facebook two-step post, or if you're messaging someone through conversation, asking if they want something, it's going to lead to a conversation. So what you want to do is, Diane, yep, I'm a lurker. Lots of people are lurkers. And so what gets lurkers out of being a lurker? Exactly, this is a value piece, okay? So you want to make sure that you have something that generates the leads from your audience. I'm going to give you a number here as well. I gave you the number 50 new followers per week if you want to get to a six-figure business. As far as value pieces go, on average, again, some people can do less, some people will need more. On average, if you want to get to a six-figure business, you should be sending out probably about 20 value pieces per week, okay? Some of you will be able to make it happen with less. And I'm not saying 20 like different value pieces as like one workshop, one PDF, one video. I'm just saying you could send one value piece to 20 different people, okay? That's totally fine. So this is something where you can generate leads and you can warm people up. This is one of the clearest and most easy ways to get more leads today. Go post on your stories. Hey, who wants this free thing? And make the free thing freaking good. Don't make it just subpar. Don't be scared about holding back value. Don't be scared that you're giving too much away that they're not going to want to buy from you. The more value you build into a relationship with your audience, the more likely they're going to be to come back and actually buy from you, okay? So that's the second piece, is generating leads through value, okay? We're moving to number 3 because we need to go quick. Nurture ecosystem. Comment down below, nurture. So this is where you need to make sure that you're incredible at keeping in the loop with people, okay? Because here's the truth. There's a lot of leads who will be interested and then they won't be interested. And you'll have lots of people who have a good conversation, but then you'll have lots of people who have a bit of a conversation, but then they kind of die off. You need to get good at having just this nurturing aspect to your business where you're keeping in touch with people, you're keeping in the loop, you're keeping on top, you're keeping them warm, because you staying top of mind allows them to want to buy from you. Because if you don't, you have competitors in the space. And if they're doing a better job of nurturing the audience, they will get the clients. So make sure that you're great at what I call messenger manners. So understanding conversations and how to just be authentic, genuine, value forward, and just be strategic with it. And then also just keeping leads in the loop, as I like to call it. Like if people don't want to buy from you this time, keeping them in the loop. If they say no to this thing, still offer them stuff. Give, 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 give. If you do that, you will get more clients. This is a massive part because there's a lot of leads. A lot of people, when they generate a lead, they try to sell them right off the bat. But if you add this nurturing piece in the middle, that's going to allow you to actually have more of them sign up as clients, and you'll have a better follow-up system as well. Is this making sense? Comment down below, yes, if it's making sense. I want to make sure that we folks, I know we're like 51 minutes in, and I feel like I have barely gotten started, but yes, this makes sense. Yes, this makes sense. Great. Last piece to the strategy as far as client acquisition goes, is you want to have pre-sold sales. Okay, comment down below pre-sold sales. I need to take more water in these days. Whew. You want to make sure that your sales are easier. So many people try to sell to cold audiences, meaning you're basically trying to sell to someone who isn't quite warmed up to you, your programs, your personality, whatever it is. You want to pre-sell people. So what I'm going to give you here today is an incredible, what I call the pre-call checklist strategy. So the pre-call checklist strategy is making sure that you have, basically, I'm going to give you 4 things that you need to be doing before you book a call. And I'm also going to be giving you 3 things you should be doing after you book a call with someone. Who's excited for this? This is where you should be taking notes, by the way. What I'm about to give you right here is absolutely gold. If you're excited about this, just let me know. So 4 things. So before you offer your program or to jump on a call with anyone, here are the 4 things that you need to know. Number 1, you need to know that they are demographically an ideal client. So demographically ideal client. Number 2, you have to have clarity around their struggles. What are they struggling with? What's a pain in their life? What are they not able to overcome? So demographic. Then you have struggle. Then you need to know what are their goals, tangible. What are they working on? Where are they working towards? What would they love to see happen? What would they love to achieve? What's their goal for 2025? And then 4th and final, you need to know, are they at a place of wanting to get results quicker by getting support? This is really critical. So before you offer your services or a call or whatever, you need to know those 4 things, okay? Bonus extra 5th is that you've already sent them some type of freebie or value piece, okay? That's a bonus 5th for them, okay? Now, those are the 5 things you should do before you offer a call. Now, here are 3 things you should do once they've booked the call, because a lot of you, I know it, you book these sales calls, and basically you book the call, and then a couple of days later you have the call, and you do nothing in between that time. This is such a critical mistake people make. Instead, by the way, be honest with me, how many of you book calls and then you hardly do anything with that lead until you have the call? Give me a comment down below. Say yes if that's you, because I want to fix this for you today. But again, we need to own before we disown. Okay, we're owning so that we can disown. So here's what you need to do. 3 things. Number 1, send them some type of video or PDF that goes over the things that you usually work with your clients on. Hey, we usually work on these systems, these strategies, this method, da-da-da-da-da. These are the things that we help people with. Send them some type of video PDF that goes over that, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is to send them testimonials. And the more pertinent of a testimonial, the better it's going to work. Meaning, if you have like 10 testimonials, someone's booking a call, what testimonial can you send to them that's actually going to be most like them, most relatable, more specific to them, okay? So that's the second thing that you're going to send to them. The third thing that you're going to do is you're going to keep the conversation going. Meaning, if you're sending them like, hey, check out this video, it's going to share with you a little bit more about like our program and what we work on. Also, here's some testimonials. And then you keep the conversation going. It could be, hey, I noticed that when you booked the call, you answered the question that this was your goal. Tell me a little bit more about that. I'd love to understand a little bit more of like why that's so important to you before we jump on the call. Continue the conversation. So many of you are wasting that time when you should be treating them as what I call a VIP lead. How many of you are going to take this system ASAP and implement this for the next calls that you book? Comment down below, yes, if that's you. If that's you, comment down below, because this system will make it so much easier. The last thing I will say on this is, if you often get X, Y, and Z objections when you're selling to someone, let's say they're like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need to think on it, or I can't afford it, or whatever their objection is, all of those objections you should try to have answered and overcome in those 3 things, okay? I'm not going to go more in details on that, but that's something that you need to be working on. This is making sense. Great family. Okay, we got 4 more minutes. Let's quickly go. Is everything making sense? Comment down below questions if you have questions. Phase 4, there's a phase 4, okay? World-class delivery. The coach who can deliver the best wins. And here is why. At the end of the day, There are people who can get clients, but who clients are going out of their program as fast as they're coming in and who are getting terrible reputations because they cannot deliver on the results that they say they can. This is so critical. If you cannot have this, I missed everything because I wasn't thinking mountain time. No worries, there will be a replay for this. So the two main things you want to be looking at here is retention and referrals, okay? Now, this is so critically important because for most people, if you get good at marketing, you'll probably be able to acquire a client for like the same energy or same money invested as your competitors. But how you can get ahead of your competitors is you can have a better retention. You can keep your clients working with you longer. You can get more referrals. It's a higher profit margin than probably acquiring a client with your own time, energy, money, whatever it is. So making sure that your retention and referral is really great. A good place to start, okay? A good place to start is just trying to get 20% retention, 20% referral. And once you want to become an expert at this, getting closer to the 40%. That's where you want to be. Now, some of you might even have a higher rate of that, and that's incredible. Well done. If you don't, we need to be working on this. Because if you have clients coming in every single week, but the same amount of clients going out every single week, you will never scale a business. It's going to feel like a hamster wheel. It's going to feel like a lot of work. It's not going to feel strategic. Now, retention is important because most of the time, with a good amount of retention, your clients are getting better results in the long term, more sustainable changes, plus it's better for your business. On a referral side of things, if you're getting your clients great results and they're happy about the program, they will refer you other people. So incredibly important. So make sure that you have systems for both of these things. I don't have time to dive into the exact systems to increase retention and to increase referrals. And if you need help with that, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get you some resources around that. But this is so critical for all of you. So this is the plan for 2025. I want you to make sure that you're becoming the right version of yourself, that you are working on you, the right mindset, skill set, environment. Then I want to make sure you have a clear, simple client acquisition system. I want you to have a platform. You're growing your audience. You know the method. You know the number. You also know that you're going to send out X amount of freebies per week through your content and through conversation. You're going to be nurturing your leads well, and you're going to be using the pre-call sales strategy to book qualified calls and also have an easier time selling to them. And then fourth and final is you're going to work on a world-class delivery so that you have better retention and better referrals than your competitors. Questions, folks? We don't have much time here today. Comment down below your questions. The last thing I will do here, folks, for you as well, while you're commenting down below your questions, is I want to make sure that you all have a chance, because I'm going to be giving out what we're calling a six-figure audit call next week. I know a lot of you, I'm just so proud of you that a lot of you are still doing this in December, and you're not like the rest of the coaches who are like, I'm already on holidays, I'm not going to be working on my business. So I'm going to be putting down below in the chat basically a link to book a six-figure audit call with me. If you're wanting to make sure you hit six figures or beyond, like I said, this is for those that also want to get to those 20K, 40K months in 2025, go ahead and poke that down below for next week. Let's get that call on the schedule for next week, so we're already putting stuff in place so that you're not behind when you come into January. I see it happen so many times. People are like, I will do it in January. But then when they get started in January, they only start to get results in February or March because they didn't plant the seeds to harvest in January. So I'm so excited to chat with you folks. I'm going to send also this call link in the group chat afterwards. So if you need some time to go check it out, whatever it is, that's totally fine. There will be a replay, and if you need the workbook, feel free to send me a message first. So any other questions? I have like a minute or two here, then I need to jump on a call actually with Jessica, who's actually on here. So me and Jessica, we'll chat here in a second. But any other questions? How do you show your value with no actual results? If you're just starting your business, is it organic content? Great question. So when you don't have results from other people, Stacy, use your story. Okay. When I started, I only had my story, right? When I started as an online health and fitness coach, I just had my story. Then when I transitioned into business coaching at some point, I only had my story. So use your story. Your story is relatable. Your story is powerful. And your story is enough for other people to want to work with you. So use that. That's a great question. What other questions do we have? sometimes I often don't get from webinars. Hey, for sure, Kylie, at the end of the day, like I want to make sure that whenever I'm giving stuff like this, you're actually getting stuff. I hope your workbooks are feeling filled out. I hope that they're like actually like there's stuff that you can take away from this. That's my whole desire for this. And so I'm really, really excited about you folks. So any other questions, folks? If you don't have any other questions, or if you have a personalized question, feel free to send me a message. I'm excited for some of you to book that six-figure audit call with me for next week, because then we can actually go and personalize these strategies for you. So that being said, folks, if you have any other questions, reach out to me. Thanks for spending the time with me on this Friday, and I'll be reaching out to your folks as well. So what is your perspective on having your website ready? Great question. 90% of you will not need a website to go full-time with your business. A website can be useful and tactical at certain points, but it's not something that you need. It's an optimization. It's not a necessity. So make sure that you're focusing on the necessities, the things I talked about today, in much higher priority than an optimization that not necessarily is going to get you more clients. Great stuff, folks. I need to run. Have a great rest of your Friday, and let's book in some of those six-figure audit calls, and we'll chat with you folks soon. Bye for now, folks.